What's going on YouTube? We're back with another video. Now today, this is a reaction shot tutorial. Now in my opinion, the most important thing about reaction shotting is your sensitivity. The slower the sensitivity, the harder it is to reaction shot. Because reaction shotting, you know what I mean, like you have to swing your camera view pretty fast while you're up Aing, and if you have a slower sensitivity, it's a lot harder to swing your camera view in the amount of time you have, and less degrees you have, you know what I mean, the worse the angle will be. It's all bad. So you want, if you can, like obviously if you're missing shots on a faster sensitivity, then it is what it is. But the faster sensitivity that you can play on, the better. So the most important setting in your sensitivity is your aim acceleration. Now, like I said, sensitivity, eh, you can be good on a lot of different settings. And I mean, like people play on a lot of different control schemes and different things, but kind of rule of thumb is, especially for aim acceleration, like if you're on, like for example, if you're on 0 aim acceleration, now this, I know this is drastic, nobody plays on 0, but if you are, look how slow it is to turn around. Like if you were trying to reaction shot and shoot straight behind you, like at this wall, it would be so hard. Like it's so hard to swing your camera view. So obviously, the faster your sensitivity, the better. So whatever you can control, if you can control, you know, 10 aim acceleration, that's what you want to be on. So that's number one, is you want to have your aim acceleration the fastest you can. And then number two is your look sensitivity. If you can play on 30s or like high 20s, 27, 28, that's better. That's obviously the higher your look sensitivity, the faster you can look around, obviously. So that's first things first. The rest of the stuff, like target, zoom, this stuff is like when you're LTing or zooming in, or that's not that. Like in your inner and outer dead zones, I have mine on 10. That's what I like them at. Like obviously, if you have them lower, it can be a little bit faster. Like I have a lot more dead zone on my thumbstick, which basically, I'm not gonna go into tons of detail, but when you move your analog sticks, the lower your inner and outer is, the more it'll grab. Like the faster it'll grab. There's less play in the analog stick. Basically, like if you have a steering wheel in a car and you start to turn it, it'll instantly grab if you have it lower, like on 1. Whereas if you have it on 10, there's a little more play in it. For me, I kind of like having a little more play. It feels like I'm a little more accurate. But that's all personal preference. But like I said, aim and look are your most important sensitivity settings out of all of it. Other than that, we will actually jump in now to the shot. We are back. So one of the most important things are, people are always like, well, how do you turn your camera so far, blah, blah, blah. You can't slide in the cover and then start to turn. I mean, you can, but you're going to make it a lot harder on yourself. You want to literally be like turning as you're sliding in the cover. That way, like you're literally already at an angle, and then when you up A, you can turn around and shoot somebody, right? Like you don't want to like slide in the cover and then try to start turning. It's a lot harder. You want to literally already be turning while you're sliding in the cover. And then that way you can get like, you know, shooting straight behind you. You can get like the maximum angle on it. Like that. So that's like one of the most important things, is you want to be turning your camera view before you even up A. That would probably be like one of the most important tips I could give. Because a lot of people, I feel like, are like, how do you turn your camera view so fast? And then like they try to slide in cover and then turn, and they can never actually get their camera view behind them. So yeah, guys, you definitely want to be turning your camera before you up A. Alrighty, so now on to the shot. So with those things in mind, with your sensitivity in mind, and with turning your camera view before you up A, this is what a basic reaction shot would look like. Nothing crazy about it. The more and more you practice too, the easier it'll get. It's honestly like not a hard shot at all to do. At first it might be a little tricky, but like the more and more you practice it, literally it's easy. Like I would go into a private game like we're in and get one of your buddies or friends to literally just like sit or on a corner of a wall or something and just keep trying the shot. So if a target was farther away, like I mentioned, again, this is a preference, but I would hard aim versus blind firing to create a little more accuracy, and obviously it would be a little more damage since the target's farther away, have a little more concentrated shot. So a hard aimed reaction shot would look a little more something like this. Right there, as you can tell, I hit literally almost a full spread. He's probably 40 or 50% damage, something around there. Probably about half dead, roughly. That would be like a hard aim reaction shot. So the wraparound shot is basically an inward reaction shot. So a reaction shot, you're swinging your camera view outward, and a wraparound shot or an inward reaction shot, whatever you want to call it, is you're swinging your camera view inward versus outward. It's literally the same thing. You're just changing the direction of your camera view. So a wraparound shot, like obviously too, this cover is really fat, so it would be hard to chunk him. Like unless you would actually like up A and shoot, it'd be hard. Like just wrapping around it'd be very, very hard to get a chunk, especially if he's not damaged. But a cover like this, thinner the cover, easier it is to get a kill on a wraparound shot. And obviously, the more hurt your opponent is, the easier it is to get a chunk. But the principles apply to all the covers. So an inward wraparound shot or an inward reaction shot, or whatever you want to call it, would look something like this. As you can tell, he's probably 30-40%. I can pistol him a little bit, and I show you what like a chunk would look like this. So that's like a basic chunk. That's inward reaction shotting. Now another thing, depending on what like how you play, if you play like claw or default, it can be a little bit more difficult depending on the left or right, depending on like if you're reaction shotting from your left or your right hand. So I play thumbs, right? I play default alternate thumbs, but it's easier for me to reaction shot on the right than it is to the left. Like reaction shot like this is easier for me than reaction shotting to the left. Like pulling your analog stick towards your A button is easier than pushing it away from your A button. So depending on if you play thumbs or claw, it could be an advantage or a disadvantage. Like I've said, I've been playing default alternate, or well, I've been playing on default. Like I hold the controller default. I've been playing thumbs for like 10 years, so like I've mastered it to a pretty basically, so it's not really that difficult for me. But it is harder to shoot to the left than it is to the right, for sure. But if you're on claw, that's not an issue for you. But that's just a little heads up. So if you guys are on claw, then you're even more ahead of the game than most people are. If not, and you play thumbs like me, don't be discouraged. Like I said, you can master it. It's just a little more difficult, but the reward's still the same. Alrighty guys, well I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I had a couple people asking me how I reaction shot, how do I, turn my camera that fast, how I do it on thumbs. I kind of wanted to shed some light on the topic and put my input on it. I know there's been some videos in the past on this, but I kind of want to just share my thoughts on the whole thing. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Like I said, I stream on Twitch all the time, so I'll have the links in the description. If you guys want to catch live streams and live content, then drop me a follow on Twitch. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys watching me, and catch you guys back here shortly.